In the middle of a large human colony on the desert planet Orvac 7, there was always noise. People shouted about prices. Machines made buzzing sounds. Smell of oil and smoke filled the air. But one voice stood out among all. It was not loud because of volume, it was loud because of the words. Give my mom a credit. She'll clean your toilet. A small alien girl stood on the side of the street. Her skin was light purple, and her eyes were big and green like glass marbles. Her clothes were old, full of dust and holes. People kept walking past her. Some looked, but then looked away quickly. No one wanted to get involved. Her mother stood behind her, silent. The woman was tall, with her face covered in a thin scarf. Her hands were folded in front of her, head slightly down. She said nothing. Please. 1 credit, 1 job. The girl shouted again. Her voice cracked a little. On this planet, credits were everything. 1 credit could buy a meal. But nobody gave credits to beggars. Humans ruled this colony, and aliens were just ... extras. Cole was walking by carrying a metal part from his workshop. He wasn't rich. He wasn't special. Just a mechanic with a small shop near the landing docks. But when Cole heard the child's voice, he slowed down. His boots made a crunch sound on the dusty ground. He saw her standing there, small, dusty, shouting in bad human words. People around him whispered, another alien beggar. ... They'll steal if you're not careful. Cole didn't say anything. He just stood there, looking. For some reason, he didn't walk away. The girl noticed him. Her green eyes locked on him. She stepped closer, brave. Her voice lowered now. Sir, ... Please. Just ... Just 1 credit. My mom. She can clean your toilet, or your floor. Anything. Cole looked at the mother. She hadn't moved. Her scarf moved slightly with the dry wind. What's your name, kid? Cole asked, voice quiet. The girl's face lit up, just a little. No one else had spoken to her all day. Lena, she said, quickly. And my mom's name is ... Vera. Cole rubbed his chin. His eyes went to the tool in his hand, then back to Lena. Why was he even thinking about this? He wasn't some hero. He just fixed engines and toilets. But something about the way Lena spoke, half brave, half scared, touched something in his chest. You hungry? Cole asked. Lena's small hand grabbed her stomach like she was trying to hide it. She didn't answer, but Cole already knew. Where's your house? Lena looked down. No house. We sleep in the old storage bay. Cole exhaled slowly. He could just keep walking. No one would blame him. That was the smart thing to do. Instead, he said quietly, come with me. Lena's eyes widened. She grabbed her mother's hand. Vera didn't move at first. Her face was still hidden, but slowly she looked up just enough to show 2 sharp, bright eyes under the scarf. Golden eyes. Cole felt something strange in his chest. That was not a normal worker's face. She looked ... royal, almost. Like someone important once, but she didn't say a word. She just followed. Cole led them through the busy street. Pew. Stared. Some even laughed. Cole found himself some free workers. Someone joked, but Cole ignored them. When they reached his small home above the workshop, he opened the door. The place was simple. 1 bed, 1 chair, a kitchen, and yes, a toilet. Clean it if you want, Cole said, trying to sound casual. But first, ... eat something. He pulled out a food pack from the shelf and handed it to Lena. Lena grabbed it with both hands. Her mother only watched, standing tall and silent. Cole sat down in his chair and watched both of them. Something told him he'd just done something important, but he didn't know what yet. The sun outside was setting. Red light filled the small room. In that moment, Cole felt like the quiet evening had changed. Like life wasn't going to stay simple anymore. And he was right. It had just begun. Cole's small home was quiet. Too quiet. The only sound was Lena eating carefully. She held the food pack with both hands, taking small bites like she didn't want to waste anything. Her mother Vera stood near the corner. She hadn't touched the chair Cole offered her. She hadn't touched the food. She just stood there, silent, tall, calm. Cole watched her from his chair. Something about her bothered him. Not in a bad way, but like an itch in the back of his mind. She wasn't acting like a normal poor worker. Most poor aliens in this colony would thank him 100 times. They'd try to smile or look down, show respect. But Vera, nothing. Her golden eyes, half covered by her scarf, moved slowly around the room, studying everything. The tools on the shelves, the small engine parts, the exit door, like she was not afraid, like she was planning something. Cole cleared his throat. "You don't say much, do you?" Vera didn't answer. Lena looked up from her food and whispered, "My mom. She doesn't talk unless she has to." Cole frowned a little. That. Lena glanced at her mother, then looked down again. "She says, words can be dangerous." Cole chuckled softly. "That's a new one." He stood up, walking toward the small sink. He washed his hands slowly, keeping one eye on Vera. "You worked before?" they asked. "Real work?" "Not just begging?" Again, nothing, but Lena whispered, "My mom was important." Before that made Cole pause. He turned around. Important how? Lena didn't answer this time. Her small face tensed, like she had already said too much. Cole dropped the question. For now, instead, he pointed toward the small bathroom. "If you really want to clean the toilet, it's back there. But honestly, I don't care much about it." Vera finally moved. Smoothly, her footsteps were light, not the steps of someone heavy or clumsy. She walked like a soldier. Or someone trained, Cole noticed, and he didn't like noticing it. While Vera cleaned, Cole walked outside to the small balcony. He lit a small vapor stick, looking at the city lights below. Evening was falling. Fast. The sky was purple and gold, like Vera's eyes. Why had he brought them here? Just because of one kid shouting in the market? Or was it because he saw something in Vera that others missed? His thoughts broke when he heard something strange. The sound of metal, not cleaning, but a click dot like a hidden weapon. Cole spun around fast. Inside, Vera was still in the bathroom. But in her hand was not a cleaning tool. It was something small and black, like a device. She was holding it carefully, pressing buttons. Cole stepped in, voice sharp now. "What is that?" Vera looked up slowly. For the first time she spoke. Her voice was deep and calm. "A locator." Cole's eyes narrowed. Locator? For what? Vera didn't answer directly. Instead, she said, "You shouldn't have brought us here. It's dangerous for you." "For me?" Cole asked, frowning. "You're carrying tech like that. You're not just some refugee, are you?" Vera put the device away under her scarf. Cole didn't like this, not at all. But for some reason, he didn't reach for his own weapon. "Who are you really?" he asked slowly. Vera looked at him, her golden eyes steady. "My name is Sarathra Vera. Once, First Blade of the Sarathron Royal Guard." Cole didn't know what that meant, but it sounded heavy. He exhaled slowly, rubbing his face. "Of course, why not? I pick up a random alien in the market, and she turns out to be space royalty." Outside, sudden sirens filled the air. Colony alert. Lena ran to the door. "Mom," she called. Vera stepped past Cole, eyes now sharp. "They found us," she said simply. Cole grabbed his tool belt. slipping a small blaster from under his chair. He wasn't sure why, but he said the words without thinking. Then, let's get moving. The quiet had ended. Now, the real story had begun. The colony sirens kept howling like metal wolves in the night. Cole pushed open his workshop door. Vera and Lena followed quietly. No panic, just fast, silent steps. Cole's mind raced. His eyes scanned both of them in the flickering streetlights. He had to know the truth now. He didn't have time to wonder. They crossed through dark alleys, keeping away from soldiers. At one corner, Cole grabbed Vera's arm, stopping her. Enough, he whispered sharply. I need answers. Who are you really? Not the name. The truth. Vera looked at him in the half-light. For a moment, nothing. Then slowly, her hand lifted, pulling away the scarf from her face. What Cole saw wasn't a normal alien woman. Under the scarf was a thin silver crown knot made of metal, but glowing softly like it was alive. Her skin wasn't just purple. It shimmered with faint lines like living tattoos or ancient markings. Her cheekbones were sharper, her eyes golden and shining like fire in the dark. Lena stood close to her mother's leg, looking up at Cole carefully, watching his reaction. You? Cole said quietly. You're not just some lost noble. You're Saruthra Vera, she said calmly. Exiled queen. Cole's hand tightened on his blaster handle. And Lena? He asked. My daughter, Vera said. First heir. Blood of Sereth. Cole swallowed hard. That locator you had back there, he whispered, voice low. That's why those soldiers are hunting you. Vera nodded. I tried to hide. I thought I could live quietly, let Lena grow safe, but they found us. For a long moment, none of them spoke. The night felt heavier than before. Finally, Cole shook his head and gave a dry laugh. Of all the people to bump into, an exiled alien queen and her heir. Vera tilted her head slightly. You regret helping us? Cole looked down the dark alley, hearing distant footsteps now. Soldiers moving closer. No, he said simply. But it means I need a new plan. Then something caught his eye. A drone floating near the roof. A red light blinking. They've got us tagged. Cole said sharply. He grabbed Vera's hand without thinking, pulling her into the next alley. Lena clung to her mother's side, running fast, small feet making almost no sound. Behind them, the drone gave a loud alert whistle. Suddenly, blue lights lit up the street. Soldiers, human colony guards mixed with alien bounty hunters. Cole gritted his teeth. This wasn't just a simple hunt now. This was Big Dot, and now he wasn't just a mechanic anymore. He was part of it. Heavy rain started falling over the colony, making the metal streets shine like glass. Cold water ran down Cole's face as he hid behind a scrap heap, his blaster ready. Vera and Lena crouched close beside him. For the first time, Lena looked scared. Her small hand grabbed Cole's sleeve. Her big green eyes were full of silent questions. Is this normal for you? Cole asked quietly, voice sharp with tension. Vera shook her head slowly. Her golden eyes glowed faintly in the rain. Not anymore. I left that life behind, or I thought I did. Cole looked at her hard. You didn't leave it far enough, Queen. Loud boots splashed through the puddles nearby. 2 bounty hunters passed the alley mouth, carrying shock rifles. They weren't human. Their faces were covered in steel masks, eyes glowing red. Cole waited until they were gone. Then he looked back at Vera. You still haven't answered the real question, he said. Why are you really here? It's not just running from war. Vera's voice was quiet, like the rain. My people fell. I was given one chance to escape with Lena. But the truth is, ... She looked at her daughter, hand resting lightly on Lena's head. The only way to rebuild my world is through her. Cole frowned. What does that mean? Vera didn't answer, but it was enough for Cole to feel the weight of it. This wasn't just some royal family drama. This was bigger. Maybe whole planet. Big dot. Suddenly a voice echoed through the colony speakers. All citizens stay inside. There is a security operation in progress. Report suspicious alien activity immediately. Cole's jaw clenched. This wasn't going away. He had a simple life. Fix ships, fix toilets, eat, sleep. And now here he was, hiding a royal heir and her mother in the rain. He could leave, walk away now. No one would blame him, but Lena's small hand was still holding his sleeve. Cole sighed through his teeth. Then he said, "Follow me." Vera frowned. "Where?" Cole's voice turned steady now. No more hesitation. "My ship." Vera's eyes narrowed. "You have a ship." "Cargo hauler," Cole said. "Old, slow. But she flies, and she's hidden." It wasn't a fancy smuggler ship. Wasn't made for royal escapes. But it was what they had. Through the rain, through dark alleys, Cole led them. Lights flashed in the distance. Sirens wailed by the time they reached the hidden dock behind Cole's workshop. Both Lena and Vera were soaked through. Cole pressed his hand to the scanner. The old metal doors groaned open. Inside stood a blocky, scratched ship paint peeling, but engines humming faintly. Cole looked at Vera. "You sure you want this?" he asked. "Once we leave, there's no coming back." Vera held Lena close, her voice low but clear. "I made my choice the moment you said yes in the market." Cole gave a small, tired grin. "Then let's go." The rain kept falling, but, for the first time, it didn't feel cold. It felt like the start of something bigger than all of them. The ship's engines hummed quietly now. Floating in orbit just beyond Orvax-7, Cole leaned against the control panel, looking out through the small viewing window. The desert planet below looked calm from up here, just a silent golden ball spinning in the dark. But Cole's stomach wasn't calm at all. Inside the ship's living space, Vera sat on a low bench. Her scarf was off now. Her silver crown glowed faintly in the ship lights. Lena sat curled beside her, eyes closed. Sleeping at last. It had been 3 days since they left the colony. 3 days of silence. 3 days of cold space. No jobs, no plans. Cole had fixed 100 things in the ship just to keep his hands busy. But now he stood there, watching Vera, feeling the question rise again in his chest. Why had he done this? She wasn't a friend. She wasn't even human. She was a queen without a throne. And he was a mechanic without a home now. Finally, breaking the silence, Cole spoke. "You going to tell me what comes next?" Vera's golden eyes lifted to him slowly, calm as always. But there was something tired under that calm now. "There is no plan," she said simply. "Only survival." Cole gave a dry laugh. "That's it? You want me to just float through space with a queen in her air, dodging bounty hunters forever?" Vera didn't answer right away. Her hand rested gently on Lena's hair. Cole stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I gave up my shot for this. My life." Vera met his eyes steadily. "I didn't ask you to." That made Cole's chest tighten a little. He wasn't sure why. "You didn't have to," he said quietly. "That's the worst part." For a long moment, there was only the sound of the ship's engines. Then, for the first time since he'd met her, Vera's face changed slightly. Her voice softened, not royal, not distant. "Thank you," she said. 2 simple words. But they hit harder than Cole expected. He exhaled slowly, rubbing his face. "Yeah," he muttered. "Well, you're welcome, I guess." Suddenly, a soft beep from the console. Cole walked back to check it. His face tightened. "Trouble," he said quietly. On the screen, red markers lit up. A patrol fleet, human military ships coming from the Orvac system. "They're following us," Vera said calmly. Cole looked at her, then at Lena, still sleeping. "Looks like we don't get to float in peace, after all." Vera stood slowly, straightening her back. For a woman in exile, she still moved like someone born to give orders. "Then we find another way," she said. Cole couldn't help it. He gave a slow, tired smile. "You're something else, lady," he said quietly, and for the first time since this whole thing began. Vera actually smiled back. A small, sharp smile. One queen, one mechanic, one sleeping child, and a sky full of enemies. But none of them turned away now. They had made their choice. The stars outside the ship were no longer peaceful. Red lights flashed on Cole's control panel. Enemy fleet closing in. 6 ships, maybe more. Faster, better armed, military class. Cole sat in the pilot's chair, eyes sharp now, hands steady. On the controls, no more hesitation. No more confusion about why he was here. Vera stood behind him, her arms crossed, golden eyes calm like always. Lena sat in the co-pilot chair, holding onto the safety bar tightly, trying to look brave. "Can this ship outrun them?" Vera asked softly. Cole gave a dry laugh. "Not a chance." "Then how?" "I'm a mechanic, remember?" Cole said, glancing back with a crooked grin. "I don't run faster. I make things break." Vera frowned slightly, but said nothing. Cole's fingers flew over the controls, switching to manual override. On the screen, a small blinking dot appeared. A signal beacon. "What is that?" Vera asked. "Something I left behind years ago," Cole said. "I don't just fix toilets. I also set traps." With a quick move, Cole activated the beacon. A pulse shot through space. Seconds later, 3 large cargo containers, hidden on old satellites floating near Orvac's -7, exploded in a wave of metal shrapnel and false signals. The enemy ships broke formation. Warnings echoed in their channels, which Cole picked up on his system. "They think we jumped into hyperspace already," Cole said quietly. "But we haven't," Vera said, voice calm but sharper now. "No, we're going the other way." Cole spun the ship's nose down, diving toward the edge of a nearby moon. Cold gray rock filled the window. Lena let out a small gasp, gripping the seat harder. Cole's hands stayed firm. His voice stayed steady. "Hang on." The ship shook as it entered the moon's thin atmosphere. Dust clouds wrapped around the windows. But Cole's eyes didn't leave the radar once. Finally, a long hidden signal appeared on his panel. "There she is," Cole breathed. Vera leaned closer, eyebrows raised. "A ship," she guessed. "An old friend," Cole said. Down on the surface of the moon, hidden in a rocky canyon, was a second, older cargo hauler. One Cole had fixed and left years ago as backup. Most people didn't keep 2 ships. Cole wasn't most people. You always plan for war? Vera asked quietly. Cole didn't answer. His jaw tightened as he guided the ship in for landing. The colony fleet might control the skies, but down here, it was just him and his machines. The landing gear touched. Down hard. Engines cooled. Silence filled the cabin. Cole stood, grabbing a small toolkit and an old blaster. He looked at Vera and Lena. "This is your second chance," he said quietly. "We switch ships. We disappear." Vera gave a small nod, but Lena's voice surprised them both. "Where will we go?" she whispered. "Is there anywhere safe?" The question hung in the air like a weight. Cole knelt beside her, voice lower now. "Safe isn't a place, kid," he said slowly. "It's the people you're with." Lena blinked. Her small hand tightened on his arm for a second, then let go. Vera's face didn't change much, but her golden eyes softened slightly. Like maybe, just maybe, the mechanic wasn't just some tool fixer anymore. Together, they stepped out onto the moon's surface, cold and silent. And above them, the stars burned on, filled with enemies. But also with new chances. Asterisk the second. Ship rumbled to life under Cole's hands. It was older, slower, but hidden better. No tracker, no ID tag. To the colony fleet above, they had vanished. But Cole knew it wasn't over. Not yet. As the new ship climbed slowly from the moon's surface, Lena sat quietly by the window, watching the stars. Her small face pressed against the cold glass. She didn't speak. Vera stood beside her daughter, her silver crown hidden under a scarf again. Cole looked back at them once. No words passed between them, but something had changed. He wasn't just some human mechanic anymore. And they weren't just passengers. They were something like family. Suddenly, red lights blinked on the console again. One enemy ship had stayed behind. A scout. Smaller, faster. They found us, Cole said quietly. No panic, just steady breath. Vera moved behind him. What do we do now? Cole's voice was rough, but calm. We end it. His fingers flew over the controls. But this time, he didn't run. The cargo hauler wasn't a fighter. But Cole had rebuilt it with hidden tricks. Small launch tubes, old mining lasers. Ray-wired. The enemy scout fired first, blue plasma shots cutting through the void. One shot hit the side. Sparks flew inside the ship. Lena screamed softly, holding her ears. Stay low, Cole shouted. Vera wrapped her arms around Lena, shielding her with her own body. Cole gritted his teeth. His thumbs slammed down on the trigger. 2 silent missiles. Launched from hidden panels. Not military grade. Homemade, but they did the job. The enemy scout burst into light. Breaking into a cloud of fire and dust, silence returned. Only the hum of the old ship filled the air. Cole let out a long, slow breath. His hand rested on the console. His eyes closed for just a second. Then he opened them again. Looked back. Vera's golden eyes met his dot. Lena peeked from under her mother's. Arms, tears on her cheeks, but a small smile too. You did it, Lena whispered. Cole gave a tired grin. We did it. The ship flew quietly now, deeper into space. Past colony borders, past maps. There were no more enemies on the scanner. Just stars, endless stars. And for the first time, Vera spoke with real softness. Thank you, Cole. You saved not just us, but our future. Cole stood slowly. His voice was low, almost rough from all the tension. I wasn't really looking for it, but I think I found something worth fixing after all. And so, the ship disappeared into the black sky. No one on Orvac 7 would remember a simple human mechanic. But somewhere in the stars, the name Cole would live on. The human who said yes, when everyone else said no.